Yes, sir. My Tricka, back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be taking a look at some mysterious videos that'll keep you up at night. But before we hop into that, go ahead and spam that like button right now so we can the numbers up on the algorithm. And you don't even got to think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button too. Sub up, join the family. This is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period. With that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video.
She's on the couch, no vibrations, nothing's touching her. Nothing at all. It's on her chest like people asked.
That don't possess the heartbeat will end right now.
There's absolutely no reason why our heart rate should even be reading. Because I'm not touching the doll, so it can't be reading me.
This either proves that the heart rate monitor on an Apple Watch is a complete scam, or Toy Story was actually based on a true story.
Pregnancy robots could give birth to human children in a revolutionary breakthrough. Oh my goodness. I know I say this a lot, but this is actually one of the craziest things I have ever heard in my life. And there is a lot of crazy things happening in the world right now. So Kaiwa Technology has been working on a robot that will fully be able to give birth to a baby. It will be receiving nutrients through a complex array of tubes and hoses in its abdomen. And this is what they said. The artificial womb technology is already in a mature stage, and now it needs to be implemented in the robot's abdomen so that a real person and the robot can interact to achieve pregnancy, allowing the fetus to grow inside. What? Cost of this would be about $14,000, and a human surrogate usually costs around $100,000 to $200,000. In my opinion, this is not the right time to be thinking about saving money. On the other hand of things, surrogacy is illegal in China, and this company is based in China, but they're hoping to work around this. And if this does happen, they'll launch this in 2026, but they do have a lot of challenges to face ahead of them. So we'll see if this actually happens.
A surrogate might not be something you want to cheap out on, because sure, you might save a few $1,000s, but your baby is going to be a full-fledged NPC. Getting your doorbell camera hacked is already bad enough, but getting it hacked by the gingerbread man would make me chuck it into the river.
So look to the top left of this radar here, and you're going to notice something really strange. Like right at the top left, closest to North Carolina. Look what happens right here, I think. What is that? That's not normal. That looks like some kind of frequency being popped right there. I think they're steering this.
We know the technology and methods exist to steer hurricanes. I can't say for sure that that's what's happening here, but all signs are pointing in that direction.
While the stadium's not completely empty, there is a very heavy police presence. Also different about today's game, the city of Baltimore is allowing only one bat to be used, which is being kept under strict lock and key. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Here it is, provided by the good people at NERD. Finally, a reminder to fans that
I get that this could just be a glitch in a live broadcast, but when the glitch happened, she was the only one that looked like a boa constrictor, so I don't know.
This is a public service announcement. Please share this information widely. The FDA has issued a recall of 3 lots of frozen raw shrimp sold at Walmarts across the country because they may contain a radioactive isotope of cesium-137. So an Indonesian company sent these frozen raw shrimp that were done under potentially unsanitary conditions. The radioactive isotopes probably came from a nuclear site nearby, and when they did testing at various shipping ports in terms of LA, Houston, Miami, and Savannah, they found very low levels of cesium-137. The level of cesium found in these shrimp samples were very low, significantly lower than the actual threshold that the FDA would be needing to act. So they're doing this out of an abundance of caution because continual low-level exposure to cesium-137 could increase the risk of developing cancer. So if you have these shrimp from Walmart with these specific lot codes, Best Buy 3/15/2027, then it's important not to consume it and throw it out.
Regardless of how low the levels are, they should not be allowed to sell radioactive shrimp. They about to have people foaming at the mouth. And I hope this is their pet tarantula, because I don't even think pest control would be effective in this situation. Me and the Orca Man would both be in the corner screaming.
Fresh kicks are one of the devil's tricks. Sounds silly, right? Maybe not. Before I really get into it, let's look at some symbolism, such as Champion, who's made shoes and apparel for a really long time. Big in the 90s and recently made a comeback. Well, who's the champion? Apparently the devil believes so, because the logo is a laughing devil. Here's a big one, Nike, which I believe the logo is more Saturn symbolism, and Nike is the Greek goddess of victory, aka a fallen angel. And Adidas, pretty close to more pyramid symbolism, but one thing is for sure, they're famous for the 3 stripes. Each shoe has 3 stripes on the outside and the inside. Perhaps 33 symbolism? After all, the Leaf logo has a 3 on one side and a 3 on the other. Is it a coincidence that the Reebok logo can be mirrored more ways than one to resemble a square and compass? I had to cut off the top and bottom, but you see it. The other Reebok logo, pyramid symbolism. Fila, pyramid symbolism. New Balance, coming in hot with some 33 symbolism. Vans, with the checkered symbolism. Interesting year as well. The list goes on. 1, the amount of money people are tricked into spending on it. 2, the countless false idols attached to these shoes. Which, by the way, there's a reason he always put the tongue out. If you know, you know. I digress. Next on the list is the trends people are tricked into following, such as red bottoms. Again, if you know, you know. And did you know there's another meaning to the word shoe, which is a second bad thing that happens or might happen after something bad has already happened?
You got to be cautious about everything these days. You think you're wearing a fresh pair of Air Force Ones, but really you got on a fresh pair of Air Force 666s. This has to either be an Urban Explorer or Pennywise's little sister. I would still be running as we speak.
A resident in South Lake Tahoe, California, has tested positive for the plague. According to local health officials, the person infected is believed to have been bitten by an infected flea while camping and is currently recovering at home. The plague is a disease caused by a type of bacteria. Last month, an infected person died of plague in Arizona, but according to health officials, risk of exposure to plague and its transmission from person to person remains very low. Let's hope that it stays that way.
I know it's only a couple of cases, but the plague making a guest appearance in 2025 can't be a good sign.
Look at this, bro. Hella bees on my car. I don't know how this happened. I don't even know if I'm allergic to keep it 100. I'm low-key about to just drive off.
If he's about to drive off, he better be careful getting in, because Tony Todd might be hiding in the trunk.
So I seen him parking, so I blocked the corner. So it's right there. I'm like, now you know. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't think this is the same truck, but ice cream truck 2 in the morning is not normal. If you walk out, it's a regular dude, we chilling. Bro, this is so stupid, bro. What the f am I doing, bro? What the f am I doing here? Wait. What the f? What the? Wait, just come from the truck. I don't know. What up? What up? Get that license plate. But they don't have a f***ing license plate? Oh, nah. Should I follow me by TikTok? Y'all got me doing. It's all 5%. I really hope they can't see me.
The ice cream man should not be wearing a hazmat suit. This might be the point where you let the boys in blue take over, because that did not look like a box of bomb pops he was putting in the trunk.
Facial recognition is old news. The government just funded something far more terrifying, whole body recognition. It's a new AI called Farsight, and it can identify you from a drone over half-mile away just by the way you walk. It doesn't need to see your face. It analyzes your gait, your body shape, and then runs it through a database to find you. This is happening right now, developed by researchers at Michigan State University. And the most disturbing part, this technology is specifically designed to get around facial recognition bans. Cities can ban cops from using facial recognition, but this isn't facial recognition, this is a loophole. The project is funded by IARPA, the research arm of US spy agencies. Their goal is to put this on drones, watchtowers, or any high-altitude camera. They can already do it through atmospheric turbulence from a high angle when your face is completely obscured. It's no longer just about what you post online, it's how you move through the world.
My question is all this new surveillance tech to catch criminals, or is there a deeper agenda? Because this seems excessive.
Spirit Airlines, man. They do it again. They flew out of Philadelphia yesterday and went to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the passengers had quite a ride. Flight radar shows Spirit Airlines and the passengers, the pilots decided to become hurricane hunters and went through Hurricane Aaron. Look at this flight. Decided to go into the storm Hurricane Aaron that had 140 mile an hour winds that's creating 100-foot waves in the Atlantic Ocean, and these pilots decided to fly through the daggone storm. Spirit Airlines, get your crap together. I'm sure these passengers did not enjoy the turbulence that came from their flight from Philadelphia to San Juan, Puerto Rico. I mean, could you not just fly around the storm, but you had to fly through the storm? Oh my God.
And the good thing is they probably arrived in San Juan about 30 minutes earlier because the wind from the hurricane propelled them faster, but the bad part is everybody in the back now needs therapy.
It won't hurt you, we don't think. Okay? You certainly can't hear it, and we don't think it'll hurt you. And it's very high amplitude. And what happens when you have two sound waves like this, sound plus sound can create sound, but only at high amplitudes. At low amplitude, sound waves just travel right through each other. You may be sort of familiar with this. But at high amplitude, you can create sound. So what happens in this apparatus is the audio sound, the sound that you're going to hear, is actually created in the beam, not here. And because it's created in the beam and it stays in the beam, we have a beam of sound. So let me demonstrate this for you. Let me turn it on. And I'm going to find the piece of music that we like. Yeah. You may not like it. The Eagles? You like the Eagles? Okay, good. Oh, we have a friendly audience this year. Yeah. I think they're just saying that to make us feel better. Right. All right. It's worth the $2,000. It's not our money. Now, the sound that you're hearing is being created in this beam. It almost sounds like it's coming from your head. So let me try to scan the whole audience here so everybody gets to hear this. Absolutely remarkable. Keith, are you getting it? Let's try to, one more thing. Let's try to bounce it off the wall. Raise your hand if you can very clearly hear it. I'm going to try to bounce it off the wall. Look at where the hands are raised.
I remember a few years back, a bunch of staff members working at the US Embassy in Cuba all started getting diagnosed with Havana syndrome, which is basically they were hearing voices in their head and getting really sick. It was probably caused by this technology.
Let's talk about Jenna Ortega. Here we clearly see her doing the one-eye symbolism. Here we see it again. She's also dating The Weeknd, who I've covered on multiple occasions for his stuff, and she's thrown up the symbol right there. She also, in this SNL skit, is clearly possessed. Her appearance has also drastically changed since she really took off in Hollywood. Many fans have noticed that. Ironically enough, it's the same MO she started as a Disney star. But what I found out next about Jenna Ortega will literally make your skin crawl. A few comments on a previous video of mine led me down a deep, dark rabbit hole. It turns out that Jenna Ortega follows a very weird and disturbing page on Instagram. Check out the pics. Here we see the artist painting the one-eye symbolism as well as the cross that's inverted. Here we see more disturbing stuff. You see people in these religious outfits, but clearly there's nothing religious going on here. Here we have another example of that. We have this lady who's dressed like a nun, again, inverted crosses, etc.
It must be something in the water in Hollywood, because it seems like no matter how innocent someone is when they first start out, they always eventually end up looking like Anton Ley.
What the hell is that? There's something flying above it too. You see it? You see something like sparkling in it?
Is that what it is? What is that?
I don't know. It just kind of like spiraled out of the clouds.
What if it's like a meteor?
Man, it's going too long to be a meteor. Oh, I think we just saw a UFO, guys.
It was like a meteor.
And it's still going. Look at it.
It could be SpaceX, but you can also see a craft blinking above it. It kind of reminds me of the MH370 video where the orbs teleported the plane through a portal. Let me know what you guys think about this one.
Conan Doyle was playing a role within this mass child abduction ring from orphanages in London to be taken in by New York Eastern establishment families, and then the kids would just disappear. But Conan Doyle, who is also working with crooks at the Society for Psychical Research, he's part of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. He's thus interfacing with Crowley. Crowley's talking about how to select the best human sacrifice for one of certain type of magical working. And they've got a very, very sick idea of what this new age that they want to bring into being is going to be. And then he's got a disciple who ends up creating a Scientology degree of initiation UFO cult that then goes on to have many of its leading members who are interfacing with Esalen, who are overseeing the creation of the SRI, who all then overseeing this thing sanctioned by the CIA that's also doing MK Ultra, that are working with Jacques Vallée, who's, by the way, also saying openly that he's friends with Kenneth Anger and working with Michael Aquino, who's overseeing the introduction of Satanism into the military, which is then doing so much damage. So I'm like, are these people legit? Like, do I really, really believe the scientific outcomes that they are overseeing in their controlled experiments?
I feel like the only reason why they're able to pull this stuff off is because the same people that are in these secret societies are also high-ranking officials in the government. So who's going to stop it?
We got a whole series going on about weird spots in Nevada, and we started with Devil's Hole and how the water splashes around here when there's earthquakes clear over in Japan. We did a video about Walker Lake and how people think that they've seen submarines coming and going from this lake in Nevada. We went over Lovelock Cave and the ancient race of red-haired giants that the Paiute and the Washoe tribe had to fight. Now we're going to be talking about Thor, but not this Thor. This Thor. This guy was allegedly named Valiant Thor, and he's not even human. He's supposed to be an alien that was hiding among humans that looked like a human. So we've all heard about Thor, the god of thunder, son of Odin, who came down and in the comic books and the Marvel movies joined the Avengers. Did you know it's kind of based on a true story about something that took place in Nevada and at the Pentagon? Even though Valiant Thor was not a human, he was an extraterrestrial. He is often photographed and seen in briefings at the Pentagon and with military officials, people out of the Army and the Air Force and all kinds of stuff. And there's entire books written about him claiming that he was an extraterrestrial called Valiant Thor that was living on Earth, and he was actually giving UFO technology and alien science to the United States of America. And Thor's spaceship was under the water on the deep end of the Hoover Dam in Nevada. That's right, so this is allegedly a real picture of a real alien that worked at the Pentagon and consulted the United States military. And when he parks his UFO, he parks it underwater at the Hoover Dam. In this book, I believe it's called Aliens at the Pentagon, it even talks about how Valiant Thor actually mentored Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and even Nazi saucer designers. And then these are some of the designs that he allegedly came up with.
If this is true, then I want to know what he wanted in exchange for this technology. It seems like something from this story is missing.
This is one of my favorite examples of one of our massive ancient trees from our past. Shiprock Mountain in New Mexico. And what I really like about this one is you can still see the fallen top half of the tree, especially from this angle and on Google Earth. Here's an aerial shot of it. You can see that fallen top half of the tree going to the right. You can even see that root system. And it almost looks like, interesting enough, it almost exploded. When you look at the stump too, something blew this tree up. It's really hard to get that close in the air to Shiprock. They restrict the flying areas around a lot of these formations. I wonder why. But here's a real treat. Somebody was able to get access to fly real close to it and tell me it doesn't look more like a tree from this perspective. It really is breathtaking from this view. Google Earth and satellite view and street pictures just do not do it justice, like getting this close to it in the air does. Perhaps this tree, as it's not cut so perfectly straight like a lot of these other ancient trees are, perhaps it was hit with one of those massive plasma storms from one of the many other resets, because it definitely does look, even more so from this angle, like something struck the base of it and it blew up. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Just looking at the erosion patterns, they don't really look like what you would expect to see from a rock formation, but I have seen rotted out tree stumps that look exactly like this.
World's first 3D bioprinted heart has been completed.
Did you know that we can 3D print organs? That's right, real live organs.
Literally, scientists worldwide are developing 3D printed hearts that can have the same shape and build as the heart they're looking to replace. Printer could generate a synthetic heart that looks identical to the heart you already have.
Dense cell clusters called organoids, speeding up the process without compromising on the organ's intricate structure.
Advances in bioprinting technology, scientists and doctors can now create functional human organs using special 3D printers. These printers use bioink made from living cells to construct tissues layer by layer to completely mimic and replicate the structure of natural organs.
We're trying to print a beating, functional heart tissue from scratch using 3D bioprinting. We have to go back to the stem cell state, and then you instruct them to become beating cardiomyocytes, heart cells. We can print a vascular network, and after 16 days, you can see this whole tissue is now, fused and it's beating synchronously.
Scientists from Tel Aviv University in Israel have produced the first 3D printed heart containing human tissue and blood vessel.
It sounds great in theory because you wouldn't need to wait for a donor if you need a heart transplant, but these days they might try to charge you a monthly subscription to keep it pumping.
Phoenix likes to keep its secrets buried. When construction began on the sheriff's office, crews uncovered the city's original gravesite where thousands were once laid to rest. Not far away, Fry sits on ground that was once a thriving Hohokam village, a history paved over by grocery aisles. And the Footprint Center? Long before concerts and basketball, this was Phoenix's first Chinatown, where artifacts from old opium dens were uncovered before the city built the arena on top.
I understand that as the city grows and expands, it's sometimes unavoidable to build over previous structures, but I've also seen that it can double as a way to cover up history.
He's a reptile. What are they called? A reptile? Bro. Hey, it's real. We just spent the last 17 hours together. You're a robot. No, you can't say that. What's up, buddy? Nah, we're gonna address that after this call. We're not leaving that slow. He's a reptile.
Now, I'm sure that he was just joking around, right? Just kidding with a friend of his, right? Right? Huh? Or is there something more going on here? Because if you noticed, Mr. Beast kind of got a little bothered when Aiden Ross called him what he called him. Why would that be? I don't know what's going on here. I'm just sharing this clip. That's all that I am doing. It's there. You've just got to listen. It's always in plain sight.
Calling somebody a reptilian is very specific. If I'm roasting my friends, I might call them a bot, but never a reptilian.
Captured on CCTV in a hospital in Thailand, the video shows a patient lying motionless on a bed, when suddenly something strange appears to rise from the body. What makes this clip even more unsettling is the reaction of the hospital staff. According to witnesses, the doctors and nurse on duty were so terrified they were the first to run from the room. Moments later, they were seen huddled together, praying for protection, a highly unusual reaction for trained medical professionals. While some viewers believe this could be genuine proof of a soul leaving the body, others remain skeptical.
This is the worst hospital in the world if they saw his actual soul leave his body and they ran from the room. Bill Gates would be livid if he found out that people were making TikToks in front of his childhood home like this. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.